Okay, review video. Oh, that's too far away. Okay. I'm going to do one of each one. You can stop it, pause it, and I can give you answers tomorrow for homeroom if you need some more assistance with that. Okay, find the slope of each line. To find the slope of this line, though, I have to put this into slope-intercept form. In fact, the test tomorrow is going to ask you to do that anyway. So first thing I need to do is I need to understand that I need to isolate y. I'm going to get y by itself. First step is always going to be the same. Get rid of the x term, and in this case, I'm subtracting 3x on both sides. Now, that's crossed out. We're going to draw a line, drop everything down. Negative 2y is going to equal negative 3x minus 6. Now I can just divide by negative 2 everywhere. Okay. That's gone. Y is going to equal, that's 3 over 2. X now, because the negatives on top and bottom will cancel out. And I'm going to have, that's not an x, and that's going to be plus 3. So the slope of this line is 3 over 2. The y-intercept is plus 3. And you can definitely go ahead and graph that. Okay? So hopefully you paused me. Hopefully you got that right. I don't know why the box is there. It's stupid. Okay. I'll give you answers for that if you want to try that later on. But hopefully you paused and got that right. Next one we're going to do. Let's solve a system by graphing. I will go ahead and graph, let's graph this one. So if you don't want to get spoiled, right? Spoiler alert, you're going to get an answer. That was lame. Okay. Y equals negative x plus 9. So I'm going to go up 9 on the y-axis, make a point. Now the slope is negative 1. So I'm going to go down 1, right 1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Now, they are straight lines because we're talking about equations here, right? No inequalities needed. I'm going to hold off on making the straight line because I want to show you a trick because some of you are really terrible at making straight lines, I'm included. So I'm just going to make the slope the points that I need, and we'll see what happens. Graphing the second line, I'm going to go down 9, which is about right there. Now I'm going to go up 11, right 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then right 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right here. You can see it from this angle point that the line here is going to eventually cross, and it is going to cross at this point. So if I had points all the way over, it will obviously cross there. So my answer to this is going to be 7, 2. So 7, 2 is my answer for this. Please make sure you check your work. What I mean by that is, you know 7 is an x value, and you can't see that. You know 7 is an x value and 2 is a y value. Plug in 7 for x, and 2 better come out for y when you figure this equation out. So negative 7 plus 9 is 2, and there I have my answer. I know I'm good. All right? You don't have to check both equations. As long as you check one, you're good to go. Okay? Next one, let's do a substitution problem. Now, the best way for substitution, or the easiest way to work with substitution is if you have one of the equations at least, solve for y. So I'll go ahead and start this one for you. This one says y equals 2x plus 18. Well, y equals 2x plus 18. So I'm going to simply take this box and plug it in right there for that y. Now I'm going to have one big equation where I'm just going to have to solve for one variable. So negative x plus 4, but I'm not writing y because y is gone. Y is now this purple box, 2x plus 18. So 2x plus 18 is going to equal 23. Don't forget to put the equals 23 or the equal sign at the end because some students forget to do that. Negative x plus 8x plus, so that would be 80 and 4 and 2, so 76, 72. 72 equals 23. Hope that's right. That'd be really bad if I have to do this whole thing again. Negative x and 8x is 7x plus 72. Fingers crossed, that's right. Minus 72 on both sides. And I'm going to get 7x, and that's going to equal negative 49. And my answer is going to be x equals 7. X equals negative 7. Okay. Now I have my x value. I have to plug that x value into one of the original equations to solve for y. Because remember, this is a system, okay? I am going to make my life easy and plug negative 7 right in there because I can solve this very simply. So if I plug in negative 7 for this x value, the x value is no longer there because it's negative 7. 2 times negative 7 is negative 14, and negative 14 plus 18 is 4. So my answer for this system is negative 7, 4. Now let's prove it. I'll put it into the other equation and it better work out. So if I put 4 in here if I put negative 7 here for x, a negative 7 is just simply 7. Okay? And then if I put 4 in here for y, I'm going to get 16, and 7 plus 16 is certainly 23. So I know that I've got the right answer for that. All right? Elimination. Okay. I'm going to work on let's work on the right one. Okay? So if you want to pause me and try it, go ahead. If not, here we go. I need opposites for elimination. I'm trying to eliminate a variable, right? So they don't line up right and they don't line up right, but I'm going to make them line up right by forcing this equation to look like the opposite of that. So I'm going to multiply this bottom equation by negative 8. Okay? Now you don't have to do the bottom equation. You could have chosen to make this a negative 3. Just up to you, whatever you feel more comfortable with. So negative 8x minus 24y is going to equal a negative 168. So these numbers are big. I'm just writing the first equation down again, make my life a little bit easier. So negative 8 and 8 cancel out. I'm going to be left with negative 23y, right? And that is going to equal a negative 184. Right? So now you would divide by negative 23 on both sides, and you should get 8. 8. 8. 8. Y equals 8. Now I'm going to plug y back in for either one of the original equations. Make my life easy. I'll plug it in right there. So 8x plus 8 equals, hopefully you can still see, negative 16. Minus 8 on both sides. 8x equals negative 24. And x equals negative 3. So I've got the ordered pair, negative 3, comma 8. I have that answer. So we did all the systems problems. Right? So let's talk about some inequalities. Okay. We'll do a simple one-line inequality because you will most likely see one problem or two on the test tomorrow about an inequality, one line. So here's a one-line inequality. All I have is one variable, and I have one line. Right? So I'm going to solve this inequality and then graph it. So the 7 will distribute. So negative 91 is less than 14x minus 49. I'm going to add 49 to both sides. And I'm going to be left with, oh, you can't see that because that thing's in the way. That's stupid. Okay. Should be negative 2, so 42. I'm going to divide by 14 on both sides. And I'm going to get negative 3 is less than x. But I can't graph that because it's going to go in the wrong direction. So I'm flipping this entire thing over. So it's going to be x is greater than negative 3. I'm going to find negative 3. It's an open circle because it's just a greater than sign. And the arrow is going to point to the correct direction by going to the right. That's my final answer there. Okay, hopefully you got that right. So one-line inequalities. Let's go ahead with the system of inequalities. Right, we're almost done. You know what? Let's do a compound now that I remember that compounds are there. Do I have a compound on here that's weird? I don't. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I am not going to do a compound inequality, but you just need to know that if it says and, that's a conjunction and they point towards each other. If it's an or, they are a disjunction and they're going to point out. Okay. Now, if it doesn't say or, it's an and, right? The ones that have the two inequality signs with no letters, no words in the middle. So it will always be pointing towards the inside. You'll separate them, make a box, and then make another box, and then make it happen. Yeah. Now, systems of inequalities. I'm going to graph both lines. Some of you are not shading after you graph or doing your arrows after you make a graph. Please know that you need to do that so you don't lose your mind. Like, I'll do this one here. Plus 3. I would go up 5 and write 3, but I can't because I don't have any space. So I'm going to do the opposite. Down 5, left 3. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if I can move this and you can still see. Now you see my head. Okay, now it's gone. Okay. Down 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Left 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, know how you're drawing this line as well. This is a less than sign. It is a dashed line. So it doesn't have to be perfect because where they cross is not the answer. I am also going to understand this is a less-than sign, so it's going to go down. I'm making a few arrows, so I remind myself that I would shade down if this is the correct answer. Now the next one is a -1. Up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. Again, it is a dashed line because there's no equal to on the bottom here. So I'm going to go with that dashed line. That's the point where they cross. But in a system of inequalities, that is irrelevant. It doesn't matter where they cross. Like, it's important if you find a point right on the both of them, but who cares? I don't care where they cross. I care what the area that's shaded is going to be. That is a greater than sign. So I am going to make a few arrows to identify that I would shade up if this was the only inequality on this graph. Now, I'm shading the area where both arrows are pointing towards each other because everything in that shaded area is a correct answer, okay? Because this is an inequality. Everything here is an answer choice because the arrows are pointing towards each other, okay? Not the other three areas. So test point, right, that we talked about in class today, pick some random point that works for everybody. Actually, 0, 0 works for everybody, and 0, 0 is the best point on the graph to work with. I would plug in 0 for x and 0 for y, and if I got a true statement, then I knew that my test point worked and my shaded area was correct. I'm going to do that not now. Thought I was going to do that now. I'm lying. Systems of inequalities. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. I don't think anything. Okay. Y is greater than or equal to -4. Y lines are horizontal. That's greater than, so you would shade up. Right up there. Up, up. Okay. Let's talk about a few things real quick. Things that you need to know. You need to know what the solution to a system of equations is. What is the solution to a system of equations? I didn't hear you. Okay. I can't hear you because that's not how that works. It's the point where the lines cross, or the point where the lines touch. What are the three types of systems? Well, how do you solve them, really? I can solve them by graphing. I can solve them by substitution. I can solve them by elimination. Good. I heard that, I think, from somebody. No, I didn't. That's scary. Oh, sorry. Okay. What else? The three types of solutions you'll have from a system. One solution. The lines are crossing. That's one solution. The point where they cross is the one solution. No solution. I've got parallel lines, okay? They will never cross. Parallel, right? They'll never cross, they'll never touch, which means there's no solution there. And then infinite solutions, which is something that we don't see a whole lot in graph form, but an infinite solution would be I graphed a line, and then I had another line, and I graphed right over top of that same line. That means that every point on that line is a solution, and there are infinite points on one line. So that means that it would be like 5 equals 5. That's an infinite solution because 5 does equal 5. But if I had an equation that I saw that said 5 equals -5, 5 doesn't equal -5, that's no solution because they would be parallel lines if I graphed them, okay? The solution to a system of inequalities is the shaded area. So not the point that they cross, but the shaded area, okay? What else? What else? Let's see. The slope of a line is how steep the line is, not how long the line is, okay? One last thing. Let's see if we can do this. I am running a race. I run 10 miles per hour, which is a lot for a human being. I run 10 miles per hour, so 10x. But I've already run, let's say, 5 miles. So I've already run 5. Okay. John, who is my friend, but he's not my friend because I'm trying to beat him, he runs a lot faster than me. He runs 20 miles per hour. Okay. How can I set up this inequality, or what sign really am I looking for, that will solve for how many hours John has to run to beat me? So John has to beat me. So this is me, and this is John. What's the sign that I'm going to put there, right? So John needs to beat me. He has to have more miles than me, more miles than I do. So this is the sign, because John has to have greater than me, okay? So I would solve this inequality, right? So if I solve this inequality, I'd subtract 10x on both sides, and I just did this in my head, so this is not going to work out right, I don't think. 10x, and then I would divide by 10 on both sides. So essentially, he would need to have run half an hour. In half an hour, and he would beat me. Right? Half an hour, half. These numbers don't work because it doesn't make any sense that he would only have to run that to beat me because I made him up. But you understand the process of this. So he would have to, you have to set this problem up. Basically, when you have a problem like this, what you're doing is set up one side of it with the information you know. So me, 10 miles an hour and 5 miles I've already run. John, he runs just 20 miles an hour, but he hasn't started yet. Okay, so I can't put another number here. And then you would set up the inequality for who wants to beat whom. So John needs to have more than him, so the greater than sign would kind of be facing the other way, like it'd be the alligator. Okay, cool. Let me know if you have any questions, any concerns on our mind. We're going to test right away tomorrow. This is a 15-minute video, the longest video all year you had. But you loved it because I'm amazing. Bye-bye. 15 minutes and 55 seconds. Almost, yes, good. Goodbye. 6. 7. No, goodbye.